Friends, trading most of your healthy, energetic periods of your life for a delayed freedom that comes at the tail end of life is kind of insanity. But no, we don't have to do that anymore. That is the old economy. In the past century, we've been forced to pick between two choices when it comes to work: pursue financial comfort or seek life fulfillment. However, now more than ever, money and meaning can be achieved at the same time. See, if most people are honest with themselves, they'll find that they actually don't want a career. They just want meaning, flexibility, control, dignity, and financial freedom. That is it, nothing more. I'm here to tell you that there is a new economy that is fundamentally changing how humans create and exchange value. For the first time in modern history, ordinary people increasingly can build their lives around their skills, their interests, their creativity, and their perspective while creating real economic value. And no, I am not talking about some side hustle or some random business opportunity or even entrepreneurship as how the internet would define it. And some of you may be thinking, well, I know that the internet has been helping people create and exchange value for a long time and people have been earning money from it. No, this is deeper than that. For the first time in history, the infrastructure for economic agency has become accessible to ordinary people at scale. The internet has matured enough, providing an end to end economic engine. This distinction matters deeply. See, in the past, you needed institutions for manufacturing, communications, marketing, logistics, distribution, you name it. Now, individuals can create, automate, publish, market, build audiences, distribute globally, so on, so forth. See, the internet has decentralized productive power. The gatekeepers that existed before do not exist anymore. You do not need permission to start anything. In the old economy, the institutions controlled the opportunities, the credentials, distribution, and audiences. Hence, humans had to plug themselves in to have access to economic power. The people that fit the system the best get paid more. However, in the new economy, the most valuable individual today is not the most credentialed or obedient or institutionally approved, but the most self directed. And I'm saying this to say that, just so I'm clear, I'm not saying become a founder or a CEO or a millionaire. That's not what I'm saying. I think that everybody should become economically leveraged. I think that there will be a time to come, especially with AI, that there will be two kinds of individuals: the leveraged individual and the non leveraged individual. You don't want to be the non leveraged. All right, the one person skill business. What is it? Why am I begging people to start it? All right, before we get into that, I want to say this. In today's age, you don't need to be born rich or well connected. You just need an internet connection and a self directed mind primed to pursue meaningful goals. The internet is your silver spoon. The internet is the great equalizer. Now let's get into the good stuff. I believe that the one person skill business is the easiest and most effective way everyday people can make meaningful financial living for themselves. You can start this entire business with $0. I repeat, this entire business can run effectively with zero financial infusion. One person skill businesses allow you to build around your strengths, own your output, control your time, and build economic leverage. You do not need money, a team, an institution, or consensus to start. You just need you. And side note, I don't particularly like the word business in the term one person skill business. I think, at least for me in the past, business used to be a very abstract and a very complex term that, you have to do X, Y, Z to have it running and blah, blah, blah. Bear with me here. This is very different. This is not that. The one person skill business is a very easy concept in practice. In the one person skill business, your skill is the product, and how you use your skill to solve problems for other people is the business. A skill is anything that is learnable or teachable. The business is the mechanism by which you use your skills to provide value to others. Business is a skill, or more specifically, a series of skills: the skill of selling, the skill of task execution, understanding people, or predicting the direction of market demand, etc. Life is a skill, or more specifically, a series of skills. The skill of human interaction, self reflection, thoughtfulness, self control, etc. This is why I coined and named my newsletter Skillonomics, meaning the economics of skills. I believe that skills are a fundamental resource in our lives today and the main asset in this new economy. I believe that the average person is far more economically powerful than they realize. The unique combination of your skills is what makes you stand apart from everybody else. Since all of the things I'm talking about here are skills, you can learn them. And so when people tell me, I'm not a public speaker or I'm shy, I can't speak in public, well, what they're telling you or what they're not telling you is that they're not willing to learn the skills necessary to become a better public speaker. You can be better at anything, including life and business. It doesn't matter whether you have a life background or a business background. In fact, we all don't. Nobody has a life background before they start life, right? Nobody has a business background before they start a business. So everybody's new at starting something in life, and you get better at it. You learn. You can be better at making a source of income that you own. You can be better at living life and living it on your own terms. And side note, many people believe that AI will perform labor far more effectively and efficiently than humans do, and therefore replace us. Not quite so. I don't believe in that doomerism. I don't think it's completely true. I know that AI does pose some level of threat to human capital in its current form, but I believe that humans will always dictate what value is, not AI. We buy the goods and services. Markets are ultimately preference systems driven by human attention, trust, and demand. And ultimately, the people that know how to turn human needs into valuable offerings will matter more, not less. That said, I believe that the best way to safeguard your future is not by joining a system that could turn you into a commodity, but by creating a system you value and then in which you cannot be replaced. So, how do you turn your skills into an income? That is the business, the act of turning your skills into an income. Well, let's talk about it. Here, I'm going to talk about what skills to sell, who to sell it to, where to sell it, and how to sell it. And I will break each down independently. What skills to sell? Yes, you are more valuable than you think. You just don't see it yet, or you just haven't learned to leverage it. Do not overthink this. If you are an adult, or even a teenager watching this, you already have one or the following existing assets: your experiences, struggles, interests, industry knowledge, etc. You only need one of them to start a business. As I've mentioned before, even personal transformations involve skills that can create value for somebody else. Having passion for something is not enough. You have to add value to people or customers. You need to solve an existing pain point in the marketplace. You just simply have to move someone from confusion to clarity, pain to relief, problem to outcome. That is how you create value. You do not need to be an expert to start a business. You just need to know enough to help one person. Then keep learning and improving as you go. Repetition builds mastery. Not knowing enough should not be an excuse for not starting. Trust me, nobody has a crystal ball before they start. Start before you create a website. Start before you stop doubting yourself. Start before you think you are ready. Start because action creates competence. Start because the market teaches faster than thinking ever will. Just start. With that in mind, I categorize skills into two types. One, market fit skills. These are the common, widely known skills. For example, coding, public speaking. These are the things we generally know about when we think of skills. These are the things that come to our mind. And two, market adjustable skills. These are the skills or experiences that become valuable when reframed, positioned, or applied to a specific problem or audience. And this is to say that almost any skill becomes valuable with proper positioning even the most mundane ones you might not expect. Here are just a few. Let's say you just got out of debt. Well, my friend, that is a skill. The business you can create is maybe a budgeting or coaching business for young adults drowning in debt. Let's say you've learned how to simplify your life. Well, that's a skill. The business could be a lifestyle design business to help people stop drowning in life with everything and the troubles of life that happen to people, that people experience in life. Let's say you learn how to stop doom scrolling. Well, that's a skill. The business could be a digital focus improvement business. Simple, right? Well, I'm going to link down a link to 75 free everyday one person skill business ideas that you can look into and probably find something that can nudge you in the right direction, something that you can relate to. So it's very exhaustive, very exhaustive. So just click the link. It will take you to my newsletter page. And in that page, you just enter your email. It'll take you to the page, and just in that page, just look for the same um, look for an article with the same title as this video. I'm begging you to start a 1% skill business. And within in that article, just the top part, like literally once you click the article, you'll find it at the top 75 everyday 1% skill business ideas that you can click and download. So, where do you sell it? Where do you sell your skills? Well, you need one primary social media platform and one email list. The platform gets you attention. The email list helps you own the audience. And I can already hear some people saying, well, I'm not a social media person. I am shy. I don't know. Well, you would be right, but you don't need to be confident. That comes with experience. Lit- Literally, everybody sucks in the beginning. We are all humans after all. Think of it like this: you don't need to become an influencer, you just need to become discoverable. People need to see the value that you provide to them so that they can be able to know the kind of business you're doing and be able to buy from you. As far as platforms go, YouTube is best for trust and authority and creating a long term audience. TikTok or Reels are best for fast attention, virality, discovery. X, or formerly known as Twitter, is best for ideas, networking. LinkedIn is best for reaching professionals, consulting services, business to business services. And please do not complicate selecting which platforms to use. Just use the one that you're familiar with first. Master posting your business there and then expand as you go. Do not split attention too early. How to sell? Like, how do you sell your skills? Well, it's simple. Solve one pain problem for one specific group of people and do this repeatedly. That is it. To break it down further, all you need to do is create content, build trust, offer a solution, get customer results, improve your service or product, repeat. Just post content around your skills, the things you know about your skills. Like, just post it. Look at what other people are saying about it. Look at the discussions, look at the articles about it, right? Learn from them. You do not need to reinvent the wheel. Just look at what other people are doing, look at what they are saying, and then have your own unique take about that particular thing, about a particular topic, about that particular skill, and then have your angle. And that will become your insight that is very unique. And besides, be generous. Give as much information as you can. This is how people will come to trust you. The more you add genuine value to their lives, the more likely they are to buy your product or service. And every now and then, post about your service and product within the general content that you put out. People have to know about it in order to buy from you. Very important point. And by the way, your first offer should be ugly because speed is greater. Duration is greater or better than overthinking. And you may be wondering, how much should I charge? Good thought. Charge based on an estimate of the value you've created, the pain you've solved, and the transformation you've delivered. And if you're not sure, look at what other people are doing around the particular product that you're or skill that you're selling. Just look at their pricing and kind of go from there. And for setup or pricing or receiving payments or websites or literally anything technical, check out the following beginner friendly tools. These are very easy enough that you should be able to get set up within just a few hours. Stripe for payments, Calendly can be used for booking, Hostinger can be used for creating a very simple website to get started. ConvertKit can be used for email and handling email. Gumroad for digital products. Kajabi or School for courses and building a community. Scaling your business. Now that your business is up and running, How do you expand it? Well, that's scaling. Let's talk about that. Scale through leverage, not hours. Therefore, I think that people should productize, meaning turn whatever service you are selling into products. That is how you can expand your business and grow it without having the additional burden that you will struggle with without productizing. Services create cash flow, products create scale. If you answer the same question repeatedly, turn your answers into content, templates, a guide, software, a product, etc. Create systems that standardize what you do. It saves you time and money on repeated tasks. And yes, if you reach a point where you feel like you need an additional person because the work has gotten tasking or too much for you, that's fine. But I would say delegate low leverage work first. You can then focus on the most important value add aspects of the business that need your input. Do not hire to feel important, hire to remove bottlenecks. That said, I believe that AI has gotten good enough today that you can replace the things that would have been done by a new hire with AI. It can do this very effectively. And in so doing, you can actually stay true to the one person skill business idea. AI drastically increases one person skill business scalability. And I will say this, use AI at the system level, not the brand level. It can help create effective systems without replacing the human value you provide. And another point I want to make, simplicity scales better than complexity. And by the way, the internet rewards people that stay long enough for compounding to occur. To summarize, content scales trust, systems scale output, and products scale income. The goal is not more work. The goal is more freedom, more autonomy, and more ownership. Final points. I want to make something very clear. I am not anti-work. I am anti-working in systems that increasingly do not work well for human beings. And most times, it has nothing to do with the job itself. You may genuinely love medicine, teaching, design, engineering, fitness, writing, helping people. You may want to do that work for the rest of your life. That is genuinely beautiful. The problem is often the system surrounding the work that you do, the lack of autonomy, the lack of ownership, the lack of flexibility, the dependence without leverage, trading decades of your life for delayed freedom. So the question becomes, if you deeply care about your craft, what is stopping you from creating work and a system around that work that you actually care about and deeply value? And yes, I want to be honest about something. This path has inherent risks. You have to show up consistently, adapt continuously, learn constantly, tolerate uncertainty, solve problems independently. And sometimes it will be difficult, but the payoff is disproportionately worthwhile. If done correctly, this path can create more autonomy, more flexibility, more ownership, more meaning, and likely more income than most traditional paths. And I'll say this, embrace risk because it's transformative, embrace failure because it's instructive. And actually, the beautiful part is this, you don't need to quit your job tomorrow. Okay? You can start slowly, you can build gradually, you can begin while still employed. And I think that most people have spent enough time consuming content, consuming entertainment, consuming opinions, consuming other people's lives. At some point, you have to start creating. And people will tell you, well, I don't have time. I don't have. Well, like I said, you can start these things with very minimal time commitment and kind of scale it as you go. And a fraction of that time compounded consistently could completely change your life. I genuinely believe that humans are designed to create, to build, to contribute, to express meaning, and to turn ideas into reality. Okay, folks, now that you know what to do, let's get started. Let's get to building that business. Let's get on to it. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.